Hi, friend. How are you? Batia here, bringing all together in youth and happiness. Okay, anyway, I'm working on it. Okay, so I'm here, as promised, to talk to you about vision boards. Oh, yeah. Okay. Vision boards are one of my favorite topics to discuss. I get excited when I hear about other people making them and getting results from them. It's exciting, because frankly, in this human form, we can get a little down. We can temporarily forget our power. And vision boards, in my opinion and experience, which I want to tell you a little bit about in this video, but in my opinion, you know, are one of those ways where we remember who we are. We remember our power on this earth, right? Even in this form as a human being. So, this is what I would like to discuss with you today. Number one, about my experience that I've had with creating vision boards and some success that I've had. So, I want to tell you a little story because stories illuminate things, right? All right, so this was about 2010. So, some years ago, right? I was, probably flipping through some magazines, watching some TV shows, and listening to other people speak about vision boards and things like that. Whatever way the information came to me, probably not as new information then, which is probably not new information to you right now, but it was just a reminder, like, yeah, maybe I should make a vision board. I remember the episode on the Oprah Winfrey Show when she had her show, uh, and daytime TV, that Jim Carrey was there, and he was telling her about the check he wrote to himself for, what was it, like $1 million or whatever it was. I think it took him like 3 years to manifest it, I believe. Um, However long it took him to manifest this money from this check, he wrote his name out. Remember, at the time, I think he was like maybe a struggling actor or whatever it was. He was still in the business, but he hadn't garnered that kind of work before, that kind of money before. And so for him, it was possible, but it was a leap. And so he wrote the amount down, whatever the amount was, on the check, wrote it out to himself. I think it was for acting services rendered. I remember that. I remember he said that. Acting services rendered. So he was very specific about what he wanted to do and where he wanted this money to come from, where he wanted this energy to come from, right? Because that's what money is. It's energy, right? I heard someone say energy exchange. There's another YouTuber. Her name is Valerie Love. I love her. Oh my gosh. But anyway, she talks about an energy exchange, right? Money for energy, right? So it's that type of thing. So he wanted $1 million worth of energy exchange, right? Or whatever the amount was. So anyway, long story short, the check, you may or may not know the story. The check, he kept it in his wallet, and it got so tattered. I mean, it was like this flimsy little thing falling apart. But by the time, I mean, it actually happened. I think 3 years later, or whatever the time was, it took some time. But that time passed by, and he got the money. He got the job. I think it was Dumb and Dumber was the movie. And this is what he said. And so, like, I heard stories like this, and I'm getting inspired. I'm like, okay. And that's a part of a vision board. Like, you can actually put that check on the board, right? It's the same concept. But you see, he didn't. He was very active with it. He took the check, wrote his name out, acting services rendered, the amount from the universe, or whatever it was, put it in his wallet, and carried it with him. Okay? So anyway, so I'm hearing these stories and all that, and I'm like, okay, I need to do it. I need to make a vision board. I need to make a vision board. At this time, I was in a relationship that was, it was a challenge. Let's just put it like that. It was a challenge. Um, and so it really helped fuel me to really say, I want to put some things up and just have a better life. You know what I mean? Whether we're in a relationship that's a challenge or not, we still want to grow, and get better, right? So this is kind of what was going on at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom, which is really cool. It's just sometimes it can be a struggle to balance that mom, income, family, like, your identity, that type of thing. So I was going through all those things, which is just part of growth, and maturity. And I said, well, I want to make some vision boards, and some of my vision boards, because I probably made like about 3 of them at the time. So I want to get to the story about something that I actually put on my vision board that actually came to pass, right? I said it a little bit in my previous video about vision boards when I asked the question, you know, to you, have you ever made one? Have you ever done this before? Do you think they work? I spoke a little bit about that, but I want to tell you some more about it now. So I said, okay, it's time to do this, and I got some magazines and, whatever I had at the time. It could be anything. This is your vision. I even did this on a computer screen before. I mean, you can download pictures and, they have an entire company built around that called Mind Movies, right? Okay, so it doesn't have to be a static board. It doesn't have to be pasted on the wall. It could be something you carry with you, but something that encourages you, something that you look forward to happening in your future, right? That's not exactly materialized as of yet, right? So anyway, of course, what was on my mind is money, right? For most of us, that's what's on our minds. I mean, that's just the way it is. I guess until we all become independently wealthy, it's going to be that way, or whatever it is, or realize all the wealth that we already have around us. Yes. So anyway, that was on my mind. So I'm flipping through a magazine, right? I believe this was actually Essence magazine. I'm going to shout out the name because that's what it was. And I saw a picture. It was a cartoon drawn picture of a woman. This was about like finances, personal finances, right? So she's a cartoon sitting at sitting on a chair at a computer screen, basically, like at a desk. And on the computer screen, this is a picture. I'm flipping in the magazine and I see it, right? It has a $50 bill and it's speaking about working at home and all this. I'm like, okay, all right, working at home. This is my vision. You know what I mean? Because I was really working towards that at that time in my life, and I did get a few opportunities at that time. So this was really up my alley. I'm like, okay, working at home. Yeah, I want to do that, right? $50. It was a $50 bill. So anyway, I said, okay. So I cut out the picture, and I thought about the amount of money on the picture, and I said, okay, 50. All right, so I took a pen. I said, I want more money than that, right? Let me just see if this thing works, because 50, I mean, that's cool, but let's just put a few more zeros on there, right? I just put a couple more zeros. So I took up my pen. It wasn't even like, the prettiest thing. It wasn't perfect. And I just took a pen, and right next to the zeros that were already, part of the picture, I just put 2 little zeros next to it, right? I might have put a dot and 2 other zeros. I'm not sure. But it was whatever I did. It was just small zeros after it to make it $5,000, right? So I'm like, hey, let's make that 5,000. We can make it any amount we want or anything we want. It's just that sometimes people recommend that when you're first starting to have these visualization practices and things, that you make your amounts, I guess, more realistic for yourself. It's just so interesting because you're not the one that's bringing it to you. So you can say any amount, so there should be, I guess, more study on that, more thought on that. I'm sure there's a reason why, because your consciousness is helping to bring it to you. So it's like, some have said you don't want to, do $5 trillion, and that's so big for your mind to think and comprehend that you can actually get, that you may interfere with, the acquisition of that amount of money. So it's like start at lower amounts and then kind of build as your mind opens up to the power that you have, right? The power of the universe, right? So anyway, 5,000 was pretty good. It was good enough. And anyway, so I gathered more pictures, different things, all kinds of things, health, relationships. I mean, all kinds of things. And I just put them on my board. I think I made like a few of them, and I posted that particular board on my wall, right? Because I was like hype, I was ready to do it. I'm like, oh, I'm ready to get this money. I'm ready. I'm hearing all these stories. I'm motivated, right? And so I'm looking at it. And I think I might have heard someone say, like, just take a little time during the day, to just look at your board, bring it to your consciousness. It doesn't have to be a long time, right? 5 minutes, whatever. Meditate on it. And then let it go, right? That kind of thing. So I said, okay. So I would look at my board, and I would look all around everything. That wasn't happening right then, right? And I started to get a little frustrated. For real. Like, I don't know about you, but most of us, when we want something, it's like we want it now, And sometimes people don't do exercises like this because it could get frustrating. It's like, I don't think this is going to work. Why should I waste my time doing this? And they may not do it. That may be a mistake, darling. Not necessarily a mistake, but just wasted effort to say not to do it, because you never know. You never know. It just might work. Okay, so anyway, it did work for me. Okay, so here we go. So about, I don't know, it was probably about a couple days or 2 or 3 days, maybe a week or so, I had it up on my wall, and I just started to just get a little down, because I'm like, I don't think this stuff is going to work. It's not happening yet. I don't see any signs of it. I don't see any signs yet, right? This is not working yet. I don't know, right? So, I'm thinking about my partner at the time, and he was excited, sort of, because I was excited. But he's just like, oh, she's just doing, her thing with this stuff. And it was okay, but I just started to feel like I was believing in something that wasn't working, and I started to feel a little silly, even to myself. And I just said, okay. And I started to get frustrated. So whenever I do that, I kind of like have to separate whatever the thing is from me. I'm like, okay, let me just take a break. So I took it down from my wall because it was creating too much anticipation. It was like, I'm waiting, I'm trying to make it happen. And that's impatience. And that doesn't work with this. That doesn't work with this, because we are not dealing with our time, our linear time as, quote, human beings, right? We're dealing with the universe. The universe is timeless. And as far as I know, the only thing that ages in the universe are physical objects. Humans and animals and, other inanimate things. They age, right? But the spiritual things, the unseen things, and this is the dimension, if you will, the area of the universe that we're dealing with to bring these things. Those things don't age. Those things don't utilize linear time, right? They just are. But the thing is that to translate that information, that power from our outer universe, if you will, or our unseen universe by these two eyes, and to bring it into our existence, yes, there has to be a certain sequence of events that would happen that we call, time. And so, depending upon what we're asking for, our situation, etc., will determine the length of time that it takes to manifest what you're asking for, right? What I'm seeking, whatever it is. So we have to be permissible of that, right? We have to be aware of that. Okay. So anyway, I wasn't trying to hear any of that. I took it down off my wall because it was frustrating me, right? And I put it in the closet somewhere. I just didn't want to see it. I didn't get rid of them, but I put them away. Interesting. Really quick. I heard another story of someone who did this. So this is a key. If you want to make a vision board or something like this, you don't even have to stare at it all the time. The fact that you took some effort to say, this is what I desire to create in this physical reality, right, of my life, because you took that effort to do it, you glued your picture, you did this, you cut it out, or whatever you did, you are already starting the process of creating it and bringing it into this existence. You've already started the process. Like I had already started the process. Whether I'm staring at it every day. So I had heard a story about someone who, I think with their child, they made a vision board about the house that they desired to live in, right? I need to do this, right? And they did that. And they put it in a box. They put it away. I think it was like in the attic somewhere. It was like 5 years later, whatever it was. They moved to a new house, probably forgot about the vision board, were unpacking the boxes. The dad was like, remember when we made this picture? Look at the house. The house looked exactly like the house they lived in, looked exactly like the picture of what they had on their vision, right? It was packed away, but they made the effort. You see what I'm saying? So it was never a waste of time, right? Okay, so I put my vision board in the closet because it was frustrating me. It wasn't happening fast enough, and that was that, right? So some time goes by. Now this was 2010, right? At the making of this video, it's 2016. I don't remember exactly how much time it was. I know it was a few months. It might have even been over a year. Whatever it was, I forgot about it. I mean, I knew I made a vision board like sometime, ago before that, but as far as I was concerned, it didn't happen. And okay, oh well, life goes on, right? So one day, it was probably like a couple years later. So I'm in a class because I was taking some early childhood education classes. Yay! And I was doing an art for children class. I remember, and I was doing my homework, and I was in the room doing my little project. And I said, well, let me turn the radio on because I like to listen to like the talk radio during the day, specifically at this time of my life. And so I turned it on to a local radio station at the time. The guy spoke about finances, right? So he helps people get out of debt and things like that, and get their credit better and all that good stuff, right? And so I was listening to it, and all I heard was summer giveaway, $4,000, whatever it was, and it was like we're giving away every week of the summer or something like that. So anyway, I heard enough to know, like, I'm perking up. Is this a contest that I can get into? I heard it was not too late. They were still doing it, right? And I think they let you hear somebody win some money or something like $4,000. I'm like, oh, I can use $4,000, right? Yeah, all right. Stay at home mom, right? We could all use that, right? The family can use it. So all we had to do was get a dollar bill. I know I'm telling the thing we had to do, but it was simple. It was simple enough. We had to just do a few simple things to be qualified to call in on this contest. Now, okay. Oh, I have to tell you a little bit more about my vision board. What I put on here first, before I kind of go into a little bit more of the story. But again, really quick, I'm just going to go back real quick into what was on my board. I told you it was a woman. She was sitting at a desk. On the computer was a $50 bill. I put 2 zeros to make it 5,000. So she was getting this money. I'm supposed to be working at home or whatever it was from the computer screen. But that's what the vision was. It was the lady. So this is what I did. This is an important part. So I wanted to go back to this. Because if you're going to do this type of thing, make your vision boards and all that, what is really helpful and what will supercharge the actualization of what you seek to come to pass is if you put your picture in the frame, right? This may or may not be news to you. I'd heard someone say it before. I said, oh, I remembered. Okay, right. So I took a picture of myself, and of course these days most things are digital, So go old school, print your pictures out, get you a disposable camera, take some pictures, get it developed, whatever you need to do. Have some printed pictures of yourself, your family, whatever it is, your favorite superstar, whatever it is. Have the pictures, okay? So I had a nice picture, and it doesn't have to be, but what's most beneficial if you're going to use a picture of yourself, other people, have a smiling picture, right? Have a picture where you're happy, because this is what you're creating, right? The universe is going to see that, and it's going to help you duplicate the spirit behind what you're putting up, right? So you want to have a nice smiling picture. Oh, right. Okay, so if you don't have any smiling pictures, take some smiling pictures. Okay, but anyway, so I cut out when I originally made my vision board, okay, in 2010, I cut out a picture of myself. There was a little picture, so I just cut out like the head part and put it over her head. That's what I did. So, like, I just taped it over the picture of the cartoon lady, and so it looked, and I was smiling, right? It was a little crooked, but because the way I tacked the picture on, but and so it looked like she was smiling, and there was $5,000 like on the computer, right? So I guess she was getting the $5,000 from the computer. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you that part. Very, very, very important. Attach pictures to your pictures, personal pictures, to your board, right? And that is going to really enliven it. Like, don't just put a picture of the house there. Put a picture of you in the house, okay? Beside the house, cutting the grass, you know what I'm saying? All right. Driving a car. Put a picture of yourself in the car, okay? That's what we're talking about. All right. So, again, fast forward a couple years. I'm in a class. I hear it. I'm like, okay, $4,000. Yeah. I can, let's do that, right? So I just had to do a couple little things to get it. It was a little effort for me, but and you got to put effort into these things, but it worked out. So I had to get a dollar bill. I had to have a certain sequence of numbers in the serial number. It had to have like a 6 and a 7 and a 4, in no particular order, but it had to have these certain numbers in it. And at that time, I didn't have a dollar bill with those certain numbers in it, right? And, when you got to get change, blah, 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 I don't know. So I had to go and get this, obviously. And it took a little bit, not a lot, but like one lady I asked, if I could change like a 20, whatever it was. She told me she couldn't open her drawer. She could give it to me. This was a lady in the library. I'm looking at people who have like big bills, and I'm like, or like smaller bills. And I'm like feeling silly, like if I should ask them, do you have a dollar that has a 4 and a 6 and a 7 in it? Or whatever. Like, oh my God. But just whatever. I said, I'm going to try this call-in contest, and I'm going to get that dollar bill. You hear what I said? So anyway, I finally went to a store. Nice lady. I'd asked her. I had been in there like a couple times before. And I asked her, I said, can I just, switch this dollar bill for a dollar bill in your register that has like, these numbers in it? She's like, okay, sure. And I'm like, thank you, whatever. That ends up being a $1 million bill. Now I know somebody's gonna say, did y'all give her 80? Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. She was so nice, and I'm telling you, I never forgot that she did that. So, anyway, I get home, I have my dollar bill with my sequence of numbers. But that's only half of it, right? Because I still have to call in this radio station. Who wins radio contest? Like, hello. Like, who does that? Who even thinks it's possible? So the first week I missed, I didn't hear it. They were giving away $1,000. The second week, they were giving away $2,000. It might be every day. It might have been every day of that week giving away $2,000. The third week, $3,000, right? I heard it on the fourth week. By the time I get my dollar and, whatever, do everything I need to do around the houses and get ready to do it again, to be ready to call into the contest, I'm on the fifth week, right? Hello? $5,000. This is the $5,000 week. So I was surprised because I didn't even realize that it was going to go up another $1,000 by the time I, was ready to call in. So I'm like, $5,000. Okay, cool. Mind you, I'm not thinking about my vision board at this time. I told you, this was probably like at least a year, probably 2 years prior I made the vision board. I was not thinking about that at all. Like, period. Like, I'm thinking a radio calling contest. It's not even connected in my mind to somebody sitting at a computer winning $5,000. Like, that's just not. But here's the kicker. And thank you for, if you're still with me, thank you for listening to this. I'm trying to get to something here, but hopefully you're getting little jewels out of this, that if you choose to do this type of thing, you will have ways to make this happen for you, right? Put your pictures in it. Put your I guess your feeling out there, your desire out there. Don't recoil back from it and say, well, this stuff doesn't work. Try it. What's it really going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anything. Like, you're just putting your effort out. It's really not going to hurt anything. So anyway, hopefully you're getting some of that from this. But here listen to this part. Okay. So, my computer system at the time, or my telephone system at the time, was, shall I say the name? It was a Magic Jack. You ever heard of a Magic Jack? You know, Magic Jack is not sponsoring this video, like, but I just wanted to mention that that's, you know, what it was. So it's basically a computerized phone system that we had in the house. Yes, it's getting interesting. Okay, so basically, in order for me to make the phone call, I had to go to the computer to make the phone call. Yes. This is okay. So here we go. Now think about the picture and think about what's happening right now. See, we never know how the universe is going to bring whatever we put on these vision boards to us, whatever we say out of our mouth to us. We don't know. But it can, and it more than likely will happen if and when we put the effort into doing it, right? Into creating this what we want for our physical universe. So I'm getting ready to call in. It was like I had to call in like 3 o'clock that day, and I'm like, okay, 2:55, you know, of course, to the computer. So you know, I had to kind of ask, you know, if I could, you know, get to use it, because he was like right there, which is fine. I'm only mentioning this part to you because I just want to illuminate the fact that there are people that are going to be close to you. They're not always going to be into it. They're just not. Whether it's a calling contest, a game show, I don't know, whatever it is, your new job, whatever it is that you're endeavoring to do, your new business, you know, your goal of losing 200 pounds, of gaining 100, well, you might not gain 100 pounds, but of gaining about 20 pounds or so, whatever it is, you know, they may not be believing that you can do it, believing that it can happen. These are your family members, your spouse, your children, your sister, your best friend. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody is going to be excited for you because they may not see what you see. You kind of halfway see it, you believe, right? And you really don't want someone downing it, but it happens. You need to be prepared for that. Not everybody is into these types of things, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to succeed and then prove it. It's not always that they don't want to believe. It's just, you know, things happen in the past, and maybe they have put their heart out or belief into something and it did not come to pass, right? So here you are, gung-ho. You watched this video, you read this article about vision boards, and now you want to make your vision boards, and people in your family are looking at you like, what is she doing now? What is wrong with him? Don't even worry about it. Excuse me. May I use the phone so I can call in this radio contest to see if I'm gonna win? Like, it's just you're taking a chance, right? So anyway, that was that. But it was like 3 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to do this. You will face certain little obstacles to what you are trying to endeavor to do. That's just life, period. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there. And not the biggest deal, but it's just saying keep going. Whatever you're facing, keep going. If somebody's not that excited about it, it's okay, right? This is your vision. So, go for it. That's all. So anyway, um, so I get to the computer and I start dialing, right? I'm like excited, right? Thinking, like, I was really thinking that I wasn't going to win. Like, again, who wins these things? I just, maybe there was something in me that said I have a chance. Another caveat here, I want to say, because I'm trying to tell you enough things to give you some good, useful information from this, in case you want to do something similar. Maybe not a calling contest, but just something similar. I did a little research before I called in. I was like, okay, how to win radio calling contest, right? I'll research whatever. I get online and I'll just do it, right? And so I saw an article and it gave me a few points. It said, keep calling. If you get a busy signal, keep calling. It said that the DJs at these stations make a choice. This is what the article said. It said they make a choice as to what winner they want to win. So you may or may not even be the correct number caller, but you may win anyway. This is what it said. I'm just like, that gave me a little extra belief. I'm not saying that's true or not, but I'm saying that's what I read. And so my point is that I did a little research to kind of give me some pointers and tips on how I can win this thing. I was getting ready to do it. This was probably like a couple days before, a day or so before. So anyway, I'm ready. I'm calling, right? Again, when you have a digital telephone system, you can hang up, you can call back. You can hang up, you can call back. It's busy, you're hanging. I was clicking that phone. It was busy. Click off, click back on. Click off, ring it again. Click off, ring. It's not like a mobile phone. It's not like a landline, right? Okay. So, again, another caveat for, calling in that radio contest. Maybe if a person is interested in doing this, they might want to use a digital telephone. Okay? Because you can click off and you can click on. All right? And so that's what I was doing over and over again, right? The phone rang. I said, hello. The phone hung up. I'm like, oh my goodness, what just happened here? Like somebody picked up the phone. And so I call again. I'm like, no. I'm going to get this money. Or at least I'm going to try. So I called again. Beep, 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 click. And I just kept doing it. Clicking off. And it's a press of a button when you're using these types of phones. Again, I'm at my computer. I'm the smiling woman at the computer. Calling this radio contest. Finally, it rings again. Somebody picks up. Hi, you're the 6th caller. That's the number of the caller I had to be. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whatever. Hi, whatever. My name, and they said, do you have the dollar bill with the numbers on it? Yes, I do. And you just won $5,000. Hello. Now, again. So let's just recap a little bit. Oh, and the rest was history, basically, right? So my partner at the time, even though he was like a little skeptical in the beginning, not just of the vision board, he was okay with that, but it was just, the contest, like, again, who does this type of thing? We were all happy when we won, though, right? Yes, okay, so, and then it was like, oh my gosh, surprise. He was like surprised, like, because he didn't really know of people who did that, who actually won those things. And so this is what I'm saying, that if you have people in your life who, first of all, it's your vision. I'm talking about whatever it is now. Okay, this new business, this t-shirt idea, whatever it is, right? It's your vision. You cannot expect everybody to be on board with it in the very beginning. It's your vision. It's like a seed. Right? Come on. who knows that the seed is going to turn out to be like this huge tree? I mean, you know what I'm saying. Who knows that? Who knows what it's going to turn? You may know. The universe may know. Not everybody's going to know. Don't hold it against, your loved ones, but don't hold it against yourself. And don't let it stop you. That's all I'm saying, right? Because you can be a winner. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me try to recap a little bit here. Okay, so the vision board. Again, the picture was me, because I put my picture over her picture, at the computer, getting $5,000 from the computer. Real life, what happened was, I won $5,000 from a radio call-in contest that I had to call through my computer. So I was sitting at the computer when I won the $5,000. Do you see? This is exactly what I had on the board. I was not thinking about a radio calling contest when I made that vision. But I said, well, let's do $5,000. And it happened. It took a little while. When I first, had my board on my wall, I started to be a little down about it because it wasn't happening fast enough for me. I put it away, and guess what? It still came to pass, right? It still happened. And it's been a little while since I made a vision. I didn't do it again. How about you? Anyway, I'm Batia. Thanks for listening to my story. If you're still here, listening to all that, but I want to motivate you and get you excited about life. Your life, the possibilities of what we can do here. And this is real. This is my real story. It happened, and maybe it'll happen again. I'm gonna have to put a few more zeros on that. Yes. All right. Take care. Love you. Peace. You got the power.